Hello, SYNGAP land. My name is Michael Graglia. Today is Monday, August 10th. We are in week 33 of the year 2026, and this is episode 214 of the Cure SYNGAP1 podcast. If you have not watched episode 213, which I released on Friday, watch it now. Big news in there. Because there was so much big news in there, there's a number of things I haven't gotten to, so I'm going to get to that now. 145 of you have completed our clinical trial readiness poll, CTR poll, curesingap1.org CTR poll. If you are not one of those 145 people, stop this recording immediately, type curesingap1.org into /CTR poll into your browser, spend the next 2 minutes giving us invaluable data. Okay, that is, we're using that data to help talk to our partners about clinical trial readiness and sites and patients, all the things. Please fill in that poll. It's super important. One of the questions in that poll was, do you know your mutation? What is it? And which exon are you on? Amazingly, some people had no idea. By some people, I mean around 1 in 5. So that's a problem. Oh my gosh, how do I find out my mutation? You join Citizen. What is Citizen? What do you live under a rock? Like, Citizen is a freely available tool that you as a rare patient can use to download and access all of your medical records in one place. You sign up, you tell them where your kid's been seen, they collect all your records in 30 days, they synthesize them in 30 days, and then in 60 days, and for the rest of your life, you can search those records on citizen.health. It's amazing. Links in the show notes. Please sign up if you haven't already. And then when someone says, what's your mutation? You can be like, hey, Citizen, what's my mutation? Boop. Hey, Citizen, what exon am I on? Boop. Hey, Citizen, whatever question you want to ask, it's right there. So take the CTR poll, sign up for Citizen, and then these things are different than Connect, which we're also always telling everyone to do. Once a year, we want you to fill out Connect. What is it? Name, address, serial number. That's all it is. Name, address, phone number, actually, and mutation. We just want to know where you are so that if we find a study that works for you, we can call you and we can connect you to that study. So you got to fill in that form, guys. People move around all the time. Contact information is critical because sometimes it's go time. Now, speaking of studies, there's a few studies going on. Albus, we've already recruited for Albus. It's this cool thing where there's a device that's next to the bed, measures the patient without touching them. Super cool. If we could show that it works in Syngapians, we could maybe get companies to use that in clinical trials, which would mean collecting data from Syngapians without touching Syngapians, which if you're a parent of Syngapian, you understand would be a really big deal. Those people have been recruited. Those devices have been shipped. They're sitting at your house. We know they're sitting at your house because of these things called FedEx tracking numbers. Plug them in. You need to plug them in, people. That's the next step. Plug them in. Get the data flowing back. We need it. We need it now. If you haven't plugged in, we know who you are. Lauren will be calling you this week. Please plug in. Number 2, Combiomics. About 20 of you are going to be recruited for Combiomics. This is going to sound familiar. We're going to want your kid to give biosamples, blood, maybe urine, and then we're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars analyzing those samples to look for data in the signal in the noise, basically. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to get it. But if we're calling you, it's because we looked at your mutation and we want data on your specific kid and their mutation. So please, if you get that call from Lauren and Catherine, take the call. We need 20 more people for Combiomics. The organization is investing probably $100,000 in this because the data is that precious. So please, if you get asked to do Combiomics, the answer is yes. Last but not least, everyone is going to get invited in a few weeks to do the ORCA validation study. We've been working with Duke for years on the ORCA study. ORCA is Observer Reported Communication Ability. Look at me. And what that means is a validated scale that helps us assess the communication ability of a patient. And here's the deal. If we do a clinical trial and the drug goes in and your kid goes from having 2 words to talking in complete sentences and you tell it to the doctor will be like, that's great, but I can't prove it. Because doctors have to prove stuff with these things called validated scales. Because the doctors are skeptical, the FDA is skeptical, everyone's skeptical. It's crazy. So we need validated scales to be able to demonstrate if there is a change in communication. And right now, we really don't have a good one. So what we are doing is we're working with Duke University and the FDA and 12 other monogenic diseases to demonstrate that the ORCA, which has been adjusted for this purpose, so this is ORCA 2.0, the ORCA can work to score communication in Syngapians. And for that to happen, when you get this call, you're going to call them, you're going to consent, you're going to do an interview and answer some questions. 3 weeks later, you're going to do the same interview and answer the same questions to make sure that things don't change over time. And then you're going to have the other caregiver, your spouse, your partner, whatever, do the same, do it one more time. And that's called inter-rater reliability. Doesn't matter. Punchline is, this is super important because it would put SYNGAP on the ORCA map, and ORCA is going to be a validated scale that the FDA knows because they're helping us pay for this, that will help us measure improvements in communication in SYNGAPians. Super important. I'm teasing it now because I want everyone to get ready to do that. We will be in touch. Now I want to go to my next favorite hobby horse, personal fundraisers. Huge thanks to the families of Ada and Ford. 2 episodes ago, I gave Ford a shout out. Ford set a fundraising goal of $20,000. Ford was at 10. Ford's now at 20. Amazing. Ada had set a goal of $10,000. They were at 0, so I didn't really talk about it. Ada's now at $104,000. That's more than 10 times. And I had the pleasure of meeting those newly diagnosed parents in Colorado last week, and just an incredible family trying to help their kid, just like all of us. We're just people trying to make the best future for our kids. And that's why every single family in SYNGAP land should do a fundraiser. So 3 thoughts on this. Number 1, raise what you can. If you know people who can raise $100,000, raise $100,000, people. If you know people who can raise more, call me. If you know people, if you think I could raise $1,000 if I was lucky, or I could raise $500 if I'm lucky, do it. It adds up. Your $1,000, their $100,000, their $20,000, their $5,000 alone. None of that stuff moves the needle. When you put it together in one place called Cure SYNGAP1, and you have a CSO like Catherine, and researchers send us proposals, and we negotiate those proposals, and then we have grant managers and finance people who write checks, and then we can put our resources together and change the future for our loved ones. And we've done that with $8-point-something million already. But we need to keep fundraising because there's so much more work to do. So here's the deal. 3 big reasons to raise money for Cure SYNGAP1 with a personal fundraiser with your kid's face on it. Number 1, what I just said. Together, by pooling our funds, we're moving the needle. Number 2, you don't know. You don't know if you're Ford or Ada. And hey, $20,000 is a big deal. Not a lot of families have raised $20,000, so go for it. Ford said, I'm going to raise 20. He raised 20. $10,000 is a big deal. Ada said, I'm going to raise 10. Ada raised 100. And you don't know when you set your goal at 500, 1,000, 5,000, whatever the number is. If your community is going to be like, oh my gosh, and they're going to show up 10x. You don't know that until you ask. You don't know that until you ask. You've got to ask. That's the message there. Number 3. Dude, I love these cups, by the way. This coffee's amazing. Number 3, what's number 3? Number 3 is probably should have been number 1. When you ask your community to help support Cure SYNGAP1 for your loved one with SYNGAP1, you get a chance to tell them what SYNGAP1 is. And you get to tell them your child has a severe disease. It's going to get more challenging over time, and you need their help, their love, their support, their money. That's the important part. That's why everyone should do this. And what I heard loud and clear from Ada's parents was that in going through this process, they've begun a lot of conversations that have been really helpful for them. And what I said to them is, good, keep those conversations going because you need all the help you can get, baby. This disease is no joke. Ada's tiny and cute right now. She's going to get bigger. She's always going to be cute. She's going to get bigger, and these kids generally get trickier. Let me keep going. Speaking of tricky, one of the tricky things is siblings, right? Which is why we have sibling stories, curesingap1.org/siblings. The latest SYNGAP story is by Porter. It's beautifully written. I encourage everyone to read it and give it to your other sibs. Porter's a real hero. It runs in the family. Porter's mom is Suzanne Jones, the chairman of our board. And it's just really beautifully written. So check that out. Good job, Porter. Hey, we got some events coming up. If you know how to use a golf club, you need to be at the Scramble for SYNGAP in South Carolina in 54 days, October 3rd. If you know how to shoot things, you need to go to Shoot for SYNGAP in Utah in 96 days. That'll be a fun fundraiser. If you know how to drink beer, this is the only thing I qualify for. In 111 days on November 29th, you need to go to Fight for Felipe. It's going to be awesome. And then in 115 days, I qualify for this too. In 115 days, you get to go and be with other SYNGAP families and learn about what's coming and meet the folks from Camp 4 and other companies and get a taste of the future. It's incredibly exciting. This conference is going to be wall to wall on December 3rd and 4th in Denver, Colorado. Book your tickets now. Book your hotel room now. Book the conference now. If money's a problem, call us. We'll see what we can do. We really want everyone there. PubMed is at 47 publications. 47 publications is 14 more than the week we're in. Last year, we were 9 over. What that means is we're on track to have the biggest year. Right now, we're already at the 3rd highest year for SYNGAP-related publications. That's a big deal. That tells you the scientific community is paying attention and we're making progress. If you have a SYNGAP diagnosis, make sure your doctor is using the ICD-10 code F78.A1. You can check that by logging into Citizen. We are on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Insta. Follow us everywhere, but especially LinkedIn, because that's where industry and researchers are paying attention and connecting these days. So please make sure you and your family are following us on LinkedIn. And I'm not kidding about the family part, right? This is a lot of work and things change fast. And if you point your loved ones to Cure SYNGAP1 on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, then they can educate themselves and you don't have to explain it all to them. Thanks for listening. It's been a really fun episode to record. I will be in touch.